regarding the sale and purchase tax, yeah, the transfer tax of the property, it will depends on the title of the property, Mr. Z. As we know in Indonesia, the title of the property, we have leasehold and then freehold at TB title, and then right to use or hak pakai.
So with a leasehold, and if you have a tax ID, you're paying 10%. Without a tax ID, you're paying withholding tax of up to 20%. And for a sale tax, it's 2.5% on freehold property.
There are many ways to do things legally here in Indonesia, because I think everyone can agree here that investing in Indonesia is not an easy task, especially for foreigners or for us Indonesians. The difficulties can be erased because we can do many things. Like, for example, if we want to do business, then we can do it under our personal name as a proprietorships, or we can do partnerships, or we can create corporations. Whilst for foreign investors, they're limited to only the two options, which is to create a corporations.
And we see that essentially as a foreigner investing here, there are these particular channels that you can go to try to get a better tax rate, I guess, through working with local partners or setting up a PMA. That's very insightful. In terms of spatial planning, what strategies can be employed to maximize the use of limited land in Bali, especially in very densely populated places like Seminyak or Ubud?
For those for those who has land in those places, you can try strategies like those in Singapore or Hong Kong. Maybe make multi-story buildings low-rise, because we have restrictions of the height, and apply mixed-use development like restaurants, cafes, co-working, or maybe gym, wellness. Many people came to Bali to be ripped, right? So your property does not only provide living quarter, but also lifestyle.
In my design, I have maybe 4 or 5 projects. You can call it tiny house, tiny villa, something like that. The key is how to make blend outdoor and indoor.
So I can thinking from the other side. So to make the business plan like limited, like unique, only one. So some of this design can trying to accommodate this idea. So because it's unique, so we can sell it also above the standard, something like that.
Because good interior design or good architecture is not how much it's going to end up costing. It's how you can make the scope fit within a budget. Also, we have to look into the clientele. And if somebody comes from Semarang, Surabaya, or Jakarta, they might not be up for a 3-4 bedroom villa or the tropical feel. They might be liking more this clean, nice studio apartment.
More than 70% audience here are interested to start their path to be a property investor actually. What is the most important factor that we have to consider to choose our first property investment?
I think the best thing an investor can do is to do their research. I think before they actually make these $100,000 decisions on what to do. And if they do really well, they'll probably be more happy investing. My point is essentially use a data-driven approach to make investments. The key here is this. The key here, I think, is not to focus too much on the property, but to really focus on what is the experience you are trying to build around the property. Since somebody asked me the ROI, I generally look at 10% as essentially the benchmark. So with 10% as, let's say, the benchmark, we can understand if it is an undervalued or overvalued property.
What is the strategy to enter the villa market in Bali actually, sir?
I think the best strategy is probably first to go and get good consultation from people who've done this before, right? I think the right expectations are, all right, why am I doing this? Am I doing this to essentially get cash flow? Or am I doing this to have an exit strategy where I can sell this property later on for a certain price? So once you've clarified that, I think then you can have the right targets. And this I think starts becoming the most important thing.
Thank you very much everyone for coming, and we'll see you in the next BPE Talk Investor Track. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.